How many of you uh, did arrange flower for the first time? Genuinely, that you have done the flower arrangement for the first time. Never did before, right? So your experience was fine, touching the flowers. You could feel some kind of delicacy. So why did we think of having a session on flower? It's extremely important to know this. Okay. I have a session on Atma Puja Upanishad. The time is over. 1 hour over. But it's good that you all spend time, maximum time with the flowers, right? So now there will be a message here. You all have to listen to it very carefully. Without this message, this whole session will remain incomplete. And see, we took the symbol of Om, different symbols, different ways it is scripted, and then try to draw the same figure with flower. But each flower has a significance of its own, as Chitra said in the beginning. The mother has given spiritual significance to more than 800 flowers. When she was asked, how did you know that this flower has this spiritual significance? What was the process by which she could discover this inner language, the secret language of each flower? So she said that in deep contemplation, she would enter into the core of each flower, the core vibration. Then every flower had a message to give, say something about itself. And each one that she has given the spiritual significance, its message is a mantra by itself. Because it has revealed to her. She has not formulated it in her mind that let's call this flower as this flower as this. That itself is the Veda. So each name is revealed to her. Each flower has spoken to her. Like this is what the flower stands for. Right, point one. Point two, that whenever she wanted to give any message to a devotee, she would not speak anything. She would simply hand over a flower to the sadhak. The sadhak will understand, okay, suppose the mother has handed over a flower which means purity, right? So the sadhak will understand that, okay, for my growth, now I need more purity. So the sadhak will concentrate on purity. And if you look at the language which she has used, so as if a new language has manifest through the significance of the flower, it's a new language of sadhana. The whole message, if you see, it's a new language of sadhana. And the message then the mother gives for every one of us. She says, be like a flower. Please remember this message and read it very carefully and try to understand each and every word that she has put there. She says, how? Suppose I want to become a flower. You want to become a flower. What are the qualities that we need to develop in us? So she says that be like a flower. One must try to become like a flower, open, frank, equal, generous and kind. Now she is using similar words, open, frank, generous, kind, equal. It sounds almost like openness and frankness is same. But there are subtle differences. Now, when you read it, you'll understand. A flower is open to all that surrounds it. Nature, light, the rays of the sun, the wind, etc. It exerts a spontaneous influence on all that is around it. It radiates a joy and a beauty. So when it gives the message that be open like flower. So this is what we need to do. This is what we need to manifest in us. Then she says, it's frank. It hides nothing of its beauty. It lets it flow frankly out of itself. What is within? What is in its depths? It lets it come out so that everyone can see it. That's what is known as frankness. No hiding, no deception, no pretension. Frank. If there is no frankness, you are not like a flower. Then it says it's equal. It has no preference. Everyone can enjoy its beauty and its perfume without rivalry. It is equal and the same for everybody. There's no difference or anything whatsoever. It's equal. So it said then generous, without reserve or restriction. How it gives the mysterious beauty and very own perfume of nature. It sacrifices itself entirely for our pleasure. Even its life it sacrifices to express its beauty and the secret of things gathered within itself. This is what is understood by generosity. It is demanded that we remain open, frank, equal, generous, and kind. What does it mean to be kind? She explains, it has a tenderness. It is so sweet, so close to us, so loving. Its presence fills us with joy. It is always cheerful and happy. That's what is meant by kindness. Then she says, happy is he who can exchange his qualities with the real qualities of the flowers. Try to cultivate in yourself the refined qualities. Be like a flower. What a beautiful message, isn't it? So, whenever you come across, and Sri Aurobindo and the mother also have explained that the flowers carry an intense psychic presence, divine presence. And when we offer the flower, it is so sensitive, so intense presence is there, as if it mediates between you and the divine. So flower offering has been our tradition simply because it is through the flower the message can reach to the divine. So you can send your prayers through the flowers to the divine. And it really reaches because there is a divine presence which is always present in the flowers. Because this is the finest creation in the nature when you talk about the plant kingdom. It is the finest thing. It is the psychic element in the plant kingdom. There is a physical element, there is a vital element, there is a mental element. There's a psychic element in the plant kingdom is the flower. So that is the kind of respect that we need to give, or when we bring the thought of flower to us, so we have to have that. I will narrate one anecdote, what happens, and then how these flowers help us in deciding what we need to do in life. I'll just give you one example, real life example. So whenever any retreat or any camp, teachers training camp, it happened, I always used to do it through the flowers. So what I used to do, like self-introduction. We don't do it just by asking names or anything. So say we gather hundreds of flowers and then arrange it beautifully. Then suppose there are 100 people, so more than 100 flowers will be there. Now silently some beautiful soothing music or mother's organ music is going in the background. I'm talking about the format, like how this exercise is done. Then each one is contemplating on the flowers. Then I tell them that each one of you silently contemplate on the flowers, and whichever flower is calling you, that come and pick me up. Then you go and then pick it up. Suppose 10 people are called by the same flower, all the 10 people can sit with the same flower. So that's how it happens. So then I have prepared the flower cards, like you were given a card of Om. So similarly, the flower cards are there, where the message and the significance is written of those flowers which are present in the hall. So I was doing it with 70 teachers. It was a teachers training program, and the self-introduction session was happening there. So everyone could pick up the flowers and sitting. Then after that, so I distributed the card because they don't know about the messages. They don't know anything about what the mother has said. They shared their experiences, like why did that flower call? Someone said, okay, the very constitution of the flower was so beautiful that I got pulled. Someone said, I see this flower every day, so I was always attracted. Someone was attracted by the color, the vibrance, the pattern, the fragrance, or for some other reason. So they described their own reason. Now the flower cards are distributed. Now they know what is the message that they are receiving through the flower. So that becomes their own identity. Message which is coming from the divine, because you are called by that flower. You have developed a kind of affinity or close relation with the flower. Now, there was one girl who was sitting. After she received the card and got the message, she started profusely crying, uncontrollable. We don't know what she was remembering and what was happening. Then everyone was sharing their message and their experiences. When her turn came, she was again uncontrollable. Somehow she tried to control her tears and then tried to speak something. So this is what she spoke. She said, I am a very successful CA, chartered accountant. She is working in a farm, very rich. There is no dearth of money. She is earning well, doing very good in life, but not happy. Just imagine the sadness that we were talking about something. Not happy from within, because her soul, evolving soul, is aspiring for something else. She said that always I felt, though I am doing very good in this profession, yet there is something that my soul is not accepting. My inner being wants to become something else. She said, I contemplated. Then I heard a voice that I should become a teacher, not a CA. Because always she could enjoy teaching, being in the midst of students, children. So she said, okay, if I have to change my profession and become a teacher, I should attend some teachers training program initially to understand like how teaching happens, because formally I'm not trained to become a teacher, although I find a teacher sitting in me. So she said, with this hope I came to attend this teachers training program, not knowing what is my future, whether I am taking a right decision or not. Now, when this activity was happening, this particular flower was calling me again and again. Then I decided, is it true or my imagination or any other reason? So I was looking at other flowers, but constantly this flower alone was calling me again and again. So I got this. But when the message came, I read, I couldn't control myself. What was the message? What was the flower? The spiritual significance of the flower that was chosen by that girl was successful future. Just imagine when we have that purity and intensity in the aspiration, how you were asking, how that Narad will come. Now the Narad is coming in the form of a flower, convincing her that you have taken a right decision. That's how it happens. So that's why our close connection with the nature can develop through these flowers. And the mother has given a new language of sadhana, new language of progress. So every time you see a flower, try to find out the spiritual significance that mother has given. Or if you are attracted towards a particular flower, try to find out the mother has given. So there is a beautiful application called Flower Song, where all the 800 flowers you can find. You can search and then find it, a flower song, okay. Or there is a blog spot called Blossom Like a Flower and blogspot.com or something like that. So you can find out from the internet, all the flowers are uploaded, all the messages are available. You can develop your relationship with the flower. But every day, make it a point that you spend some time with the flowers. Every day with the flowers, with the nature. That's how you see that how it helps in shaping your own life. That's how you develop your connection with the nature, connection with yourself, and that becomes truly the Atma Puja Upanishad. So I will set the context, what is called Atma Puja Upanishad. So all of you do puja, familiar with puja, even though you don't do, but you are familiar with puja, Lakshmi Pujan ho, or something is happening. So there are steps of doing this puja. It's called upachara. So sometimes it is done panchopachara, means 5 steps you finish the puja, or dasopachara, 10 steps. But the complete puja happens with shodasha upachara. How many upachara? Shodasha means 16 upacharas. So now what is this puja? Where from these upacharas are coming? Say for example, like a guest is coming to your place. Just take it in a practical sense. What is the first thing that you do to the guest? Someone has arrived. First you welcome them. Okay. So in the puja, the first thing is avahana. Okay. So prior to that, something is there which we will talk about it. So which is dhyana, that you contemplate and invoke. And in that invocation, you feel the presence of that deity, and then you do the avahana, that you welcome the divine. Okay. So after, say, your guest you welcome, then what do you offer? Immediately you offer that, sir, you have come for have food. You ask him that, please have a seat. So you make him comfortable on the seat, right? So then he's relaxed. You don't know whether he is coming, walking, or in what situation he must have reached there. So you make him comfortable, offer a seat, asanam. So avahanam, asanam. Then what do? You have to make him comfortable, like you offer, like arghya you offer. Like you make him comfortable, have some conversation, offer yourself, build the confidence in them, okay? Have little close affinity. Then you offer water, jalam, okay? Then snana, achamana, pushpa. Then you put dhupa, deepa. This is how you do the worship of the God, right? You are not doing it for your guest. But earlier also, like whenever any guest used to come, they used to offer something to them, some fruits, some clothes, something like that, something to, freshen the mouth. So that's why in the puja also, like you have tambula, you offer the betel leaf to the God. So in the Shodasha Upachara, the external puja, you do all these things. So you say like ite achamanam, ite asanam, ite padyam, arghyam, dhupa, deepa, gandha, vastram, and then naivedyam, then pushpam, pushpanjali. So like this you do, and then at the end you do the samarpana, namaskara. So this is how the upacharas are done for the external puja. But what does it mean in the context of Atma Puja? If I don't want to do the Bahya Puja, the internal worship, if I have to do, if it is connected with myself, what do I do? So this entire Upanishad is on Atma Puja. It shows us how to do the Atma Pujanam. So the first thing is dhyanam. So for any puja, suppose you want to do the Ganesha Pujanam. So first you do the Ganesha Dhyanam. You bring in your contemplation, in your meditation, the image of Ganesha. Okay, sing the glory of that. Remember him. So what is Dhyanam? Now in Dhyana shlokas, you will find a description of the entire, the deity. Like suppose you say Ya Kundendu Tusharahara Dhavala, it can become a Dhyana shloka of Saraswati. So where there is a beautiful description of Saraswati. You are describing Saraswati like she is bright and white and pure like Kunda flowers, like Indu, like moon, okay, like Tushara, like snow. So this is the description that you give, right? Then she is seated on Hansa, she has a veena, she has a book in her hand. Why is Saraswati having a book on her hand? She herself is the goddess of learning. What is she doing with the book? Representing the knowledge. Okay. That itself shows that even the goddess of learning is engaged with learning all the times. So if you are not engaged with learning, then learning can never happen. Okay. Even the goddess of learning also carries the book always in her hand, right? So get engaged. But here in the context of Atma Puja, that dhyanam is to contemplate within oneself and think about oneself, one's own inmost being, and then try to feel the presence of that divinity. So it says, it's a beautiful sutra which says, Om Tasya Nischintanam Dhyanam. This is how the dhyanam is defined in the context of Atma Puja Upanishad. It says tasya nischintanam. Nischintanam means, tasya means of that self, of that divine presence. Nischintanam, that you think about it, contemplate on it. You hold it in your entire consciousness, the presence, try to feel it One is try to feel it. The other is like once you feel that presence, then fill your entire consciousness with that presence. Try to push it to every part of your being, that presence. There is a presence at the center, and from that center, in your dhyanam, this is how the nischintanam is done. So try to push that into every part of your being. Make it spread into the entire consciousness. So that is what is nischintanam. Tasya nischintanam dhyanam in the context of Atma Puja. This is how the dhyanam is done. How beautiful this exercise will be. Like you are completely in a state of meditation where you are concentrated on the center of your heart, where that steady flame, that shanta tejas, that you feel the presence, it is steady, unwavering flame, bright, brilliant, brilliantly shining. And now the rays from that flame is spreading into every part of your being. Like today you all were doing yoga, na? The yoga teacher said that अपने किस स्थिति में आप बैठे हुए हो, किस स्थिति में आप हो, उसका पूरा ख्याल रखना. देखो खुद को कि कैसे बैठे हो. सर कहाँ है, पैर कहाँ है, हाथ कहाँ है, खुद को देखो. Okay? Bring into your image. The same way you see yourself, and then at the center you find that Shanta Tejas, then spread the rays into every part of your being. What a beautiful meditation it will be. Dhyanam. Tasya nischintanam dhyanam. And once you have done this nischintanam, then avahanam. Why do we do this puja? That we want to, जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि गणपति बाबा को मैंने आज घर ले आया. आज मेरे घर का मालिक वो है आज के दिन के लिए. जैसे हमारे घर में मेरी बेटी ने एक फॉर्मूला दिया था. वो बोली कि देखो हम ऐसे करेंगे, हर दिन मामा जो चाहती है वही पकाती है, पर मुझे कुछ और खाने का मन है और आपको भी कुछ और खाने का मन होगा. हम बोलते हैं तो वो नहीं सुनते कि नहीं मैंने जो बनाया वही खाना है, तुम लोग जो बताते हो कभी और करूँगा. तो हम लोग ये डिसाइड करेंगे हर दिन कोई एक जन इस घर का मालिक होगा. तो आज अगर मैं मालिक हूं तो आज ना पड़ेगा. मामा अकेले मालिक नहीं है, तो आप भी एक दिन, तो हमारे घर में ऐसे चलता है, आज मैं मालिक हूं, कल बेटी मालिक है, परसों मेरी वाइफ मालिक है. तो इसी हिसाब से जो मालिक कहेगा उसी हिसाब से होगा. तो इसीलिए हमारे जो मालिक है, जो अंदर है, उनको सामने लाना है. ये साइकिक इमर्जेंस है. आवाहनम का मतलब ये होता है, वेलकम का अर्थ ये होता है जब हम गेस्ट को भी वेलकम करते हैं तो गेस्ट ही सब कुछ है, वही उसी को मालिक बना देते हैं. जो चाहता है अतिथि वो देना पड़ता है, और इसका कई लोग फायदा भी उठाते हैं. तो इसीलिए लोग कहते हैं कि अतिथि कब जाओगे है ना. तो वो कंसेप्ट अभी नहीं रहा. पर देखो अभी तस्य निश्चिंतनम ध्यानम. नाउ व्हाट इज आवाहनम? What is welcome? How do we do the avahanam? In the context of self, we are talking. So, जैसे एक अतिथि आया तो आप क्या करते हो? अपना सब कुछ जो भी काम कर रहे हो, जहाँ भी एंगेजमेंट है, उसको वो आधा अधूरा छोड़ के आप अतिथि को अटेंड करते हो नहीं करते हो? अगर अतिथि आए बैठा है, आप अपना काम कर रहे हो, ये अच्छा वेलकम होगा क्या? बोलो होगा क्या? प्रैक्टिकली सोचो. तो हम सारे काम छोड़ के उसी में ध्यान देते हैं. लुक एट दिस ब्यूटिफुल सूत्र, व्हाट इट सेज, हाउ इट डिफाइंस आवाहनम. ही सेज सर्व कर्म निराकरणम आवाहनम. सो आवाहनम का मतलब होता है सर्व कर्म, सारे काम, निराकरण, छोड़ दो सारे काम, क्योंकि मेरे सरकार आया है. ठीक है, अपने घर को सजाओ, अपने घर को ऐसे सजाओ कि मेरे सरकार आया है, मेरा मालिक आया है, आज ये घर के मालिक है. तो आत्मा को इस प्रकार चिंतन करो. वो बोलते हैं कि इफ़ योर माइंड, इफ़ योर वाइटल बीइंग, इफ़ योर मेंटल साइकोलॉजिकल बीइंग इज एंगेज्ड विथ सो मेनी थिंग्स, हाउ विल यू डू द आवाहनम? यू कांट डू. जैसे अतिथियों के लिए हम करते हैं ना, वी बिकम अटेंटिव ऑफ दैट, लिविंग ऑल आवर वर्क्स. सब काम छोड़ दो, अब अतिथि आए हैं, अरे मेरा फ्रेंड आया है मेरे घर, अब छोड़ो मैं कल कर लूँगा. तो ये आवाहनम का मतलब होता है आत्म पूजा के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं, मेरे माइंड नहीं, मेरे विचार नहीं, मेरा इमोशन नहीं, कुछ नहीं, मेरे लिए मेरी आत्मा ही मायने रखता है आज. तो मैं मेरे अपने फ्रेंड के साथ, अपने अतिथि के साथ. Actually, I have one more article in my blog page if you read what exactly the word atithi means. So there the Veda confirms that our Atma is our atithi. And etymologically also it is explained, atati, satatam gacchati, iti atithi. That means it is traveling, lives after lives, traveling, carrying all our experiences. That is why it is called atithi. Okay? A guest. It is not that one who appears without a tithi. Suddenly one appears. But it keeps moving. This is what is Atman, Atati. Satatam gacchati. Always it continues its own journey, lives after life, carrying all experiences, making a progress. That's why it is Atithi. तो एक बार एक बहुत सारे फॉरेनर्स आए थे एक साधु से मिलने के लिए, जो स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर्स होते हैं ना, ज़ेन मास्टर्स. तो एक ज़ेन मास्टर के कुटिया में पहुँचे अतिथि, ये फॉरेनर लोग. तो वन ऑफ द फॉरेनर्स हु वाज लीडिंग दैट ग्रुप, listening, so one of the foreigners who was leading that group, so he found nothing in the room of that Zen master. There was nothing, no furniture, nothing, just a water bottle maybe. So he asked, where are your furniture? Then the Zen master asked that person, where are your furnitures? He said, but I am a visitor. Then the Zen master said, do you think I am not? You understand, we all are visitors, we all are atithi, guests in this world. तो वो फर्नीचर कैरी करने की जरूरत नहीं, we all are visitors, knowing that the insignificant nature of all these possessions. ये जो अतिथि है उसका जब हम आवाहन करते हैं तो our total engagement becomes with the atithi. Think about like a friend, your best friend has come your home. You give up every work and then attend to that. That is why sarva karma nirakaranam avahanam. What a beautiful definition, isn't it? Okay. Then it says like we offer a seat. Why? Offering a seat means making him comfortable and settled. So what is settlement in this case? So it is, the asanam is defined. I will just, like deal with these three words only to give you an introduction about asanam. So like this, there are Shodasha. You can go to my blog page and then read the entire Atma Puja Upanishad with meaning, which is there, which will be shared with you all. So now it says, Nischala Jnanam Asanam. Asanam means to be settled. Means to be settled in your consciousness. To be settled in your knowledge. If you are not well settled within yourself, if all your buddhi, everything is not well settled, if your jnanam is not well settled, however great mastery or skill you may be achieving in your life in any field, if the nischalata is not there at the jnana level, then you are not a well settled person. That is why we call it as sthita prajnata, that your steady intelligence. So now what happens, I will narrate you one story why it is called the Nischala Jnanam Asanam. When you become well settled. So there was a very fine archer. In archery, no one could excel him. Such a great skill that archer had achieved. Okay. So now he was taken to a master, spiritual master. His disciples brought that he is one of the greatest archer. So the Guru smiled, didn't say anything. The disciples went on glorifying the archer, say he can do this, he can do this, he can do that. So then in front of the Guru, all kinds of challenges were given to that archer. So he went on, okay, like a man is standing, he will send the arrow, it will pass through his ear, but it will not hurt, it will not touch. All kinds of difficult challenges were given to that archer. He did that. Everyone was, like overwhelmed, mesmerized. Then once the performance is over, demonstration of all the skills of that archer was over, the spiritual master went, snatched the bow and arrow, and then walked. So all are following because the master is moving, so all followed. No one knew where was he going. So he went to a place, nearby place, where there are two hillocks, very close hillocks. Manu, it's just a 10 feet difference between the two hillocks, and there is an abyss. Okay, the cliff is very deep, and there is a very huge log connecting both the hills, and it's tilting. But one can walk very careful. But if you fall, you don't know where you will arrive. So the guru went, this spiritual master went with the bow, stood right in the center of that log, and started demonstrating all the skills which the archer did. Then he invited the archer, come stand here and do the performance. The archer didn't go. So the guru explained, you are grounded in the ground. Your feet are grounded on the ground, but you are not settled within yourself. That's why you cannot stand here and then do the performance. Only a spiritual master can do. So that is what is asanam. Nischala jnanam asanam. The total silence in the consciousness. You can stand anywhere. No other thought will appear. Why that archer couldn't do that? Because he is not well settled within himself. He has mechanically achieved the skill. So mechanically you can achieve any amount of skills. But if there is no sthirata, no nischalata in the buddhi, in the consciousness, then you are not well settled. You are not well settled, you are not well seated within yourself. And once that nischala jnana, that sthita prajnata, that sthirata, that sthira buddhi, that nischita buddhi is there, that settlement in the consciousness, and you are well seated, well settled within yourself, then you are swastha. That means you are settled within yourself. So we are using swastha as well-being. The true well-being is to be well settled within oneself. Now if we can understand just these three words, dhyanam, avahanam and asanam, to begin with, our journey with Atma Puja Upanishad, so that itself is a great step forward in our inner progress. Thank you.